Congratulations to Ladina Bia and their team of friends who have created this beautiful haven of peace in Switzerland. I know Valerie is such a major inspiration for peace in Davos and for Switzerland. My total respect and appreciation to her too. I have been to Davos twice already. The aspiration for peace flows very deeply in the city, and it also flows very profoundly in the hearts of many Swiss people. You have stood as symbol of peace in the world for a very long time now. And let this peace, let this power of peace grow and let it end all the conflict that we see in the world today. Today I will take two questions that I've been asked to take. The first question was, how do I find peace in a world that is at war? We have our followers in Ukraine still living with their families there. We have followers in Israel and Palestine with bombs exploding on their heads. People on both sides rushing to the sounds of sirens into their bunkers. We do have people who have lost their friends to war. But the beauty for all these people is that they meditate every day to eliminate traces of fear, traces of hate, traces of violence from their hearts. It becomes absolutely necessary to enhance and strengthen our immune system when we are surrounded by disease. Just the same way, it becomes very important for every one of us to strengthen our peace quotient, to deeply immerse in peace consciousness when we feel the energy of war surround us. Nations and leaders must align themselves towards peace and not give in to reactivity. For if we react, we are moving to the extremes of fear and anger. We become violent and angry, and with that violent and anger, we get provoked and we push others into fear. And when you put fear into someone, they too will move into a mode of self-defense. And this loop of fear and anger and hate will continually feed itself until the whole consciousness births conflict and war. And this definitely has to be avoided at all costs. That is why we say millions and millions and millions of us must begin to live in a state of peace in our hearts. And from peace, we must handle the small and the big challenges of our life. You might wonder, what relevance does me being peaceful with my child at my work, on the street with shopkeeper, have to do with the wars in the world? Please know that individual consciousness is world consciousness. We have the power to impact the collective consciousness to move towards peace, and that is why oneness exists. So the second question is, could you please narrate to us your contribution to peace in Colombia? I personally believe that every human being who's transformed is a force for peace in the world. Have you heard of that little fable? A little boy is walking on the beach and he sees thousands upon thousands of starfish washed ashore. And then at a distance, he also sees an old man pick up starfish after starfish and throw it back into the sea, one after the other, one after the other. So the boy runs to this old man and says, "What difference does it make to the sea, you throwing a few starfish back into the sea?" The old man picks one more, throws it back into the sea and says, "It will make a difference to this one starfish and also to the entire sea." Every effort at peace we make will make a difference to those people who are directly involved and to the whole of humanity's consciousness. So yes, coming back to your question, a very beautiful event called Peace in Your Eyes was organized by a professor in Colombia, and it was arranged deep in the jungles of Colombia. It was an experiment that was never done before. So he brought together guerrilla leaders, members of civil society, journalists, politicians, a variety of people, put them all together in one room, and he requested me to lead an event for 2 days. The scenario was, Even to go to the bathroom or the toilet, we had gunmen behind because most of the people in the room were rivals who will kill each other given an opportunity. But after 2 days was over, they could look into the eyes of each other and wish for the well-being of the other. A month after this event was over, one of the big leaders who was leading a violent fight against the government was on television, and he said, a comrade asked me to pick up arms again for a fresh fight with the government. But I told him I would never be able to do it again. I would never be able to pick a gun, point it at a fellow human being, and hurt them after I went through Peace in Your Eyes journey. There were many great people who are working for peace in Colombia. We made our contribution. So, where does your journey to peace begin? You have to recognize your inner violence that you feel within, to bring attention and to calm the conflict that you feel within your own mind about yourself, the dissatisfaction that you feel with yourself, the anger that you feel against yourself, the regrets that you have against your life about your past. That's where you start. You have to find peace with yourself. You have to find peace with the people around you. You have to find peace with your family, with your neighbors. How does peace happen? Peace is not an ideal. It happens when you come in touch with the truth of your anxiety, when you recognize and realize how much of your mind is clouded by anxiety, how much of your heart is filled with judgment. It begins with seeing the truth, and from there you consciously set out on a deep inward journey towards discovering peace. I would like to invite every one of you for a really intense and meaningful journey for dissolving anxiety that is held in your body, anxiety in your relationships, anxiety around your finances. I invite you to meditate and to manifest abundance. I would love to lead you on the 23rd, 24th, and 25th of January for the Oneness Global Summit. It's a powerful, transformational online journey free of any charge, and it can definitely be your next step towards your peace. Namaste.